Welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to the Big Mouth Daily Live. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And you know what? You better know my name. My name's Mick. So what do we do here on our daily show? What we do here on our daily show is update everyone on what's going on in the entertainment industry. So I don't really go on about Ben Affleck and J-Lo or things like that and little tidbits like that. I talk about movies and TV shows and I read through articles. So if you're interested in that, this is the place to be. So basically, since The Last Jedi, a lot of people have been demanding the exit of Kathleen Kennedy as Lucasfilm president. Really, the situation at Lucasfilm is very, very similar to what's happened over at Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers Pictures since Batman versus Superman. You know, really the DCEU has been kind of stagnant since BVS and nobody's kind of known what kind of direction they're going in. They made their decision now, they're moving away from Snyder. And on tonight's live show, I will be talking about some information I got from a source about Flashpoint definitely deleting the Snyderverse, but that's tonight. But this is an interesting article from Screen Rant, you know. Star Wars fans discover Dave Filoni's new Lucasfilm position. Fans are learning that Dave Filoni is now listed as Executive Creative Director at Lucasfilm, which means big things for Star Wars and other projects, by Richard Fink of Screen Rant. Now, this is huge, and have you noticed this wasn't announced, which is very interesting. Star Wars fans are now realizing that Dave Filoni got a big promotion at Lucasfilm. Filoni, who got his start on his animated series like King of the Hill and Avatar: The Last Airbender, was picked by George Lucas himself to help develop Star Wars: The Clone Wars. The series became a fan favorite, and since then, after the purchase of Lucasfilm by the Walt Disney Company, Filoni has helped create various Star Wars series, including Star Wars Rebels, The Mandalorian, and most recently, Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Filoni currently is overseeing multiple Star Wars series based on The Mandalorian. Filoni is a writer and executive producer on the Book of Boba Fett, Ashoka, and Rangers of the New Republic, which will all cross over with each other to create a unique corner of Star Wars storytelling that fills in the gaps between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. His knowledge of Star Wars, his years at the company, as well as his close relationship with various creatives and executives, seems to have paid off as he received a major promotion. Fans are now discovering that on the official Lucasfilm website, Filoni is listed under the company's leadership as Executive Creative Director. However, Filoni was actually promoted to the position last summer. Wow! While Filoni's status on various Star Wars projects has been an executive producer, it has been on a case-by-case basis. Since his promotion, he now reports directly to Kathleen Kennedy on various projects for Lucasfilm and will lend a helping hand to all projects the studios develop for theatrical and streaming distribution. While it's unclear what exactly Filoni's new position is or how much control he has, it shows a certain amount of confidence that the president of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, has in him. When Filoni had an interest in directing live-action material, Kennedy had him observe Rian Johnson on the set of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Oh dear. I'm not sure if that's what he needed. And just a couple of years later, Filoni would direct multiple episodes of The Mandalorian, including the live-action introduction of Ashoka Tano, a character he created. Filoni's ability to oversee multiple Star Wars projects has now landed him a job with more creative control across those various projects, including series like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Cassian Andor, which he currently has no hand in developing. And if you believe that, you believe anything. This also raises questions on the control and creative input Dave Filoni will have on the feature film side of not just Star Wars, but other Lucasfilm projects as well. Indiana Jones 5 from director James Mangold is the next big Lucasfilm feature, followed by Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron. Along with the upcoming Willow television series, the adaptation of Children of Blood and Bone from fellow Mandalorian writer and director Rick Famuyiwa, Lucasfilm's slate is growing. Filoni could help these projects by working closely with the filmmakers, since he's an executive who understands the creative process and could help with the director's turnaround. At the studio, well, fans know how much care and love he puts into Star Wars. It will be interesting to see him attached to projects outside of a galaxy far, far away. Very, very interesting. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia glazes out. Oh boy, that title, your name is a mouthful, isn't it? Yo, brother, yo, Kurt. It's always great to see you on the Big Mouth Daily. You're welcome. I'm fine. I hope you're fine as well. So, for donkeys, since really The Last Jedi, everyone's been calling for Dave Filoni to be president of Lucasfilm. Now, this hasn't happened, but this title of creative director is interesting. So apparently he's had this since last summer. So that interests me a great deal. Is it a title, like Jim Lee is in charge of the whole of DC, is it in name only? For me, I call him Uncle Jim. He's just there to give confidence to the fans and kind of ensure some trust. I don't trust his position. I don't think Jim Lee's in charge of jack shit over at DC. And it's just something that's in name only. Could this be the case as well? That Dave Filoni's, reveal as chief director or whatever he is, operations director, is for name only. I don't think so. I think Bob Iger, since The Last Jedi, quietly and silently has been looking to sort this shit out. If anyone's got a position in name only since The Last Jedi, it's Kathleen Kennedy. Now, I don't think within the sale agreement with George Lucas, Disney have the authority to be able to sack Kathleen Kennedy. And I think they're stuck with her until she decides to leave. So I think she's not in charge of Jack. I think she has kind of tried to greenlight some projects like the Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron one and the one with the woman from Netflix. I forgot her name. She's doing something as well. Well, apparently we don't know how far along the line Patty and this other female creative is, by the way. And so something interesting happened in the inception of Disney Plus. What Iger decided to do was go to Kevin Feige. He would never be the official kind of runner of Star Wars, but he would be a fixer for them. So he brought in Jon Favreau to do these Disney Plus Star Wars projects. It's worked out very well for them. He's brought in Taika Waititi to do a Star Wars trilogy. And apparently he's producing a Star Wars movie as well. But I assume the Star Wars movie he's producing, or movies, is probably the ones from Taika Waititi. That's how I see that. So secretly, Iger has been trying to fix this shit show. Billy, Manchester United, glazes out. Hello, Billy, another fellow Manchester United fan. If you want to discuss Manchester United on this video, please put your comments or questions down. I'll be very happy to respond. Rumours this morning that Cristiano Ronaldo could be returning home to Old Trafford. Not sure if I believe that, but we will see what the summer gives. And so this is brilliant. This is exactly where I want Dave Filoni to be, in creative control. No point him being president of Lucasfilm. He can't do anything from there. But being a creative director, he's literally in charge of creativity at Lucasfilm. Now, in terms of Indiana Jones 5, I don't think he has anything to do with that. That director is a hands-on director. He won't want anyone interfering. Now, if Dave wants to be there to learn from one of the best, there's no one better than James Mangold, right? James Mangold's one of the best. Even though he blocked me on Twitter, I still respect him as a writer and a director. So this is very big news. So how do I see this? I see this as fantastic news. Star Wars is moving in a better direction. It's clear that Kathleen Kennedy is president of Lucasfilm, but she's not making all the big decisions here. Basically, they're allowing Filoni to get on with it, which is great. And that's not just about Star Wars. So we will see how that develops, but that's very, very exciting. So what else we got this morning? It's nearly 10 a.m. here in Cyprus, nearly 8 a.m. over in the UK. And as for you Americans, you're so weird, like with everything else, your times. You've got different times in different states. How am I supposed to keep up? I don't even know what the best time is to stream a video live for you Americans. It's maybe we should do an American live video where I do it just for you Americans so we can get a few more of you in the stream. My live stream last night was as dead as fucking Elvis. Oh my God. Anyway, let's see what the next story is. So where are we? Right. This is an interesting one. This isn't the news, but this is kind of an interesting thing that I think Screen Rant are dead on about. This will be very interesting and exciting for the DCEU. The DCEU's future should make The Rock and John Cena's WWE rivalry canon. Now, this is a very good idea, and I think they should start talking shit to each other as The Rock and Peacemaker, because Peacemaker's here to stay. That's clear. So, as the DCEU goes forward, the franchise should make The Rock, Black Adam, and John Cena's Peacemaker iconic WWE rivalry canon in the films by Andy, whose surname I can never pronounce, basically. From Screen Rant. Since Dwayne The Rock Johnson and John Cena will be joining the DC Universe soon as Black Adam and Peacemaker, respectively, the DCEU should canonize their WWE rivalry, DC style. The DCEU is continuing to progress with new heroes and villains coming to the big screen. The HBO Max for original spin-off shows, after many years of development, Johnson's Black Adam is officially close to becoming a reality with principal photography underway. But Johnson isn't the only former WWE legend to join the DCEU, as Cena is playing Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker, in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Bobcat, hey Mickey, hello Bobcat, I hope all is well, past your bedtime I'm sure. That won't be the final time fans see Cena's DC player, as HBO Max is premiering a Peacemaker series in January 2022. By next summer, both of the wrestlers will be in the interconnected universe at the same time. While their respective DC roles will be tremendous additions to their already rich filmography, Johnson and Cena are also best known for their long-lived rivalry as wrestling icons. Even though there haven't been fictional rivals for quite some time, the fact that they will be operating in the same comic book universe provides a prime opportunity to pit them against each other. Even though Black Adam is traditionally Shazam's nemesis, the DCEU will take him in a different direction. Johnson's solo film will see Tef Adam be depicted as an anti-hero fighting injustice far differently from conventional heroes like those found in the Justice Society of America, who will also appear in Black Adam. Cena's Peacemaker sees himself as a hero, but who is willing to achieve peace by any means necessary, making the character yet another non-traditional superhero. This in mind, seeing these two complex and uncompromising figures find themselves on opposing sides of a topic or a battle would no doubt prove engaging on a plot level just as much as it would provide epic fight scenes. As much fun as it would be to pay homage to their WWE history, the DCEU rivalry would come from a refreshing perspective, agreed? For WWE fans, it'd mean something big for them. But for a mainstream audience, their conflict has to make sense other than seeing two actors who worked together before. Even if a team like the Justice League would categorize them as villains, Black Adam and Peacemaker represent a complex side of heroism. It would be a shame if the DCEU didn't take advantage of having them share the screen at least once, giving their respective star power and the fact that this could take place in either a Black Adam sequel or a DCEU crossover film or Peacemaker Season 2. And beyond whichever way Warner Brothers would choose from, there are a few solid options where the two former WWE wrestlers could duke it out, but in a fun comic book setting. Who knows, maybe even their rivalry in the DCEU could lead to a partnership should Johnson's Black Adam and Cena's Peacemaker be on the same page. I actually think that's an amazing idea. Bobcat, it's 2:58 a.m. for me. Wow, and you're still awake. That's sensational, but this is a good idea. How do we frame a Black Adam Peacemaker rivalry? We start it on the fucking internet. Peacemaker starts his own Twitter account. Black Adam starts his own Twitter account. And basically we have them talking shit to each other like they do in WWE, right? I mean, I don't know much about wrestling, but this would be cool. Bobcat stayed up for this. Thank you, Bobcat. Thank you for your support. You were literally the only one on my live last night. Fucking depressing. But never mind. We go on until we get to 1 million subscribers. I'm not giving up. So yeah. So you have Cena and The Rock giving shit to each other on social media, viral videos. I can take you, Black Adam. No, Peacemaker. You're no fucking hero. I'm gonna take you down. That kind of stuff. It would be really awesome. This is actually a good idea by Screen Rant Andy, whose surname I can never pronounce. It would be awesome. I think actually, because these journalists, rarely have a good idea. But this is actually a really good idea. And if Walter Hamada isn't looking at this, he isn't doing his job. So that would be awesome. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia Glazers out. I think 3-0 Manchester United, brother. What you think? I don't even know when we're playing or who we're playing. I've kind of lost it, mate. You're going to have to tell me. But don't you always say 3-0? I think you always say 3-0. One day you're going to be right. I don't think we're going to win another game for the rest of this season. So we'll see. Maybe 3-0 to the opposition, whoever that is, because I'm disorientated. I don't know who we're playing anymore. We got one more game at the end of the season, haven't we? That's Sunday, right? Bobcat, I'm still doing work, Lowell. Good man. Keep the creativity going. Right. Where are we now then? So this is something that's going on. The Flash set photo hypes the return of Batman. So we've seen 3 chairs this far, or thus far, should I say. We've seen a Batman. We've seen a Bruce Wayne blue or green chair. We've seen another Bruce Wayne chair. And, of course, we've seen Barry Allen's chair. So clearly, Barbara Machete and Andy Machete are using this to hype us up. I expect to see every character chair by the end of this weekend. That's very exciting. Now, what does this mean? We could get a Supergirl chair. We know she's in there. That's great. We could get a Superman chair, a Wonder Woman chair, a Reverse Flash chair. This would excite the fans a great deal. And I think they're starting with characters that we know are going to be in the film. So, Flash set photo hypes the return of Batman. A new set photo straight from the production of The Flash teases the return of Bruce Wayne. But whether it's Ben Affleck or Michael Keaton is unclear. But obviously, by the time they posted this, we had another Bruce Wayne chair as well, just to let you know. This is by Graham Gutman of Screamman. Oh, no, yeah, Graham Gutman, that's his name. I thought it might be Graham Gutman-y. But no. A new set photo from The Flash hypes the return of Batman. In the film, Ezra Miller is set to make his solo feature debut in the long-awaited DC Extended Universe film directed by Andy Machete. The film will adapt the Flashpoint comics arc that sees Barry Allen go back in time to stop the death of his mother. This causes rifts in the timeline with unforeseeable consequences, and Barry must fight to save the future and the past. The Flash has been stuck in development for years as the DCEU tried to find its footing as a franchise. But things finally took a turn for the better earlier this year. Bobcat, I really want a man cave. This is my man cave. This is as good as my man cave gets. But to be honest with you, Bobcat, I live in a mansion. There's so many man caves I can take up as my own. So, yeah, I'm all right. But it will be good for you to create your own man cave or even bat cave. In addition to Miller, The Flash will introduce Supergirl played by Sasha Calle. Kiersey Clement will also be returning as Iris West after her brief appearance in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Ron Livingston has been cast as Barry's father, Henry Allen, after Billy Crudup was forced to depart the project due to rescheduling conflicts, or maybe because he's a Zack Snyder loyalist, they decided to move away from him. In the most exciting news of all, though, both Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton will be reprising their roles as Batman, teasing the presence of the multiverse in the film, and setting it up as one of the DCEU's most exciting upcoming films, for sure. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia Glazers out. Wolves versus Manchester United next week, brother. Well, interesting, because Wolves are not playing very well, but they are scoring goals. And Manchester United, not sure about United. I think we'll lose. Or draw. We're draw specialists now, aren't we, Kurt? Now, in a new set photo from producer Barbara Machete, Bruce Wayne's presence on the set has been clear. Machete posted a picture of an actor's chair with Bruce Wayne's name emblazoned across the back. It is unclear who the chair is for, as it could be either Affleck or Keaton's. Check out the photo below. So this is the photo. And we've seen another 2 photos. Another Bruce Wayne one and we've also seen Barry Allen's one. So I assume we're going to see all the chairs for all the characters, which is very exciting, and I'm very hyped for that, to see characters that haven't been announced for the movie yet. So this is what Barbara said. My brother Andy Machete posted a chair, so I'm posting one too. Hi, Hermano, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's in Argentinian as well. Obviously, I can't read Argentinian, but it's cool that they're putting their stuff in their, you know, their original dialect as well, which is really cool. And I love the fact that these two are from Argentina, and I hope the DCEU fans from Argentina are supporting Andy and Barbara as well. So you should. Machete posted a chair after her brother posted Barry Allen's chair for The Flash. Production is clearly in full swing on the film, and that should have fans more excited than ever. The Flash is currently set for a November 2022 debut and is an integral part of the DCEU's future. Yeah, seeing that Barry Allen is literally going to reboot the DCEU, it's vital. Some have speculated it could even be a reset for the franchise, one that will put it on more solid ground after the last couple of years of proved tumultuous. Right, Andy Machete has said this: Barry Allen will reboot the universe. We already know that, it's not just fans, so get it right. Still, fans are eagerly awaiting a first look at the film that includes the actual characters, and that may not be far off. DC Films will have a big year in 2022. In addition to The Flash, Robert Pattinson's The Batman, Black Adam, and Aquaman 2 are all set to release, and the studio will want to hype that as much as possible. Still, the Miller-led film may be the most exciting one because of the sheer amount of heroes slated to appear and the wider implications the film could have for the DCEU as a whole. And if we do get a Clark Kent chair, right, don't assume it's Henry Cavill. Could be Brandon Routh, could be the new Superman of color, could be Nicolas Cage, could be absolutely anyone. So do not ever make any assumptions about this movie. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia glazes out. Why hate me, brother? I don't hate you, Kurt. I've never given any impression that I hate you. Anyway, should we continue? I don't hate anyone, my friend. So we couldn't go with a big mouth daily without talking about Zack Snyder, and I think I've got another article about him as well. I think we'll leave that to the end, but this is one from Screen Rant. This is by Grant Hammonds, and Zack Snyder admits his version of the MCU wouldn't have been as successful. Really, Zach? What gives you that idea? Every MCU fan is now shuddering that he's hinting that he's going to take over the MCU. Don't worry, guys and girls and everybody else identifying a different things, because I can't go through all your identities because I can't. I don't know them. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Anyway, Zack Snyder reveals that if given the reins of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he wouldn't have been able to reach the heights it has. Bobcat, Army of the Dead today. Yes, it's Army of the Dead today. Forgot to shout Army of the Dead out. Very exciting. As soon as I get an opportunity to watch it, I shall watch it. Maybe if I've got enough time, and I'm not making any promises, I'll review it tonight on my live stream on Big Mouth Live, because I think we need to be talking about something on those streams, and I'm going to have a plan to talk about things, and if people want to pop in, they can. It'll be like a proper video. Right, and I think that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm not just going to wait for people to come in from now on. Right, Zack Snyder has opened up about his belief that if he had been given the reins to the Marvel Cinematic Universe at its start, he probably wouldn't have pulled it off. Snyder was the creative mind behind the start of the Warner Brothers DC Extended Universe with Man of Steel and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. The Marvel Cinematic Universe kicked off in 2008 with the Robert Downey Jr.-led Iron Man, which spawned multiple TV series and 23 released films, 10 upcoming movies with scheduled releases, and 5 currently in development. Bobcat, I don't know. I'm pretty annoyed with the whole Snyder situation. Oh, you're still going on about that Harley Quinn thing, are you? After his first 2 DCEU projects, Snyder tried to stride his hand at the biggest effort yet with Justice League. Though amidst creative differences between himself and the studio and a personal tragedy, he departed the project, and Joss Whedon was brought on to rewrite and direct the rest of the film. Following its financially disastrous theatrical debut and years of a fan campaigning, WB and filmmaker came together for the sought-after Snyder Cut of the superhero blockbuster. Though well received by critics and audiences, it still proved to be a torturous experience for Snyder that likely has closed the door on his return to the DCEU. It's looking more and more likely that it's not going to happen. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia glazes out. You welcome coming to Australia, brother, next year. I'd love to. So in an interview with The Guardian for his Netflix zombie heist pick, Army of the Dead, Snyder was asked about his thoughts on what he might have done differently if he had been in charge of the MCU, noting he wouldn't change anything about how the films were made. He also admitted he probably wouldn't have carried the films to the heights they are currently enjoying, Snyder said. I could have changed it so it would have maybe made less money or been less beloved. But for what they've created, I don't know that there is a better way to do it. Yeah, if Snyder run this, which he never would have a chance of, it would be the same situation as we're getting with DC. This is the problem. Snyder made 3 great, visually satisfying, aesthetically pleasing DC movies, but he should never have been running the DC live-action universe, and that's just my opinion. Critics and audiences have always been divided on Snyder's DCEU projects, with general praise going to his visual style, while criticism has been consistently pointed at the tone, pacing, and scripts. The same can't be said for the MCU, however, as while occasionally all criticism has been pointed at certain installments for their similarity to other films or genetic tone, not a single outing has fallen below a fresh rating or review aggregate Rotten Tomatoes. Given a lot of criticism was drawn to the rushed nature of the DCEU's expansion, it's hard to disagree with Snyder on his admittance, but the blame can't be put entirely on the filmmaker. Well, obviously they should never have put Nolan in charge, and Nolan shouldn't have been allowed to put Snyder in charge. So yes, it's not just on him, of course. Bobcat, no, I'm just annoyed with the certain toxic fans and him not telling them to stop being as negative and crazy as they are. Well, listen to me, Bobcat, and this is simple, and this is very important advice. This is the best advice I'm ever going to give you or anyone else. These people are spouting out negative, toxic propaganda. Do you understand? And I either laugh at it, say my piece and disagree with it. They never respond to me because they know me. They know me. They know I'm a nutter, so they don't bother with me. But at the end of the day, the propaganda is not going to change anything. It's boring. They can shit on the future as much as they want. They are irrelevant in terms of the future of the DCEU. Bobcat, also he blames WB, but it's his fault just as much. Well, I think this is what this article is saying, isn't it? It's both, the WB, the old leadership shouldn't have got involved with him as the leader of this franchise, and the way he does things, deconstructing Superman and Batman is never a good idea. Deconstruction and reconstruction is good for characters and storytelling with your own characters, not with Superman, not with Batman. I like his films, but at the end of the day, it was a poor move. WB's efforts to capitalize on the success of the MCU by creating the DCEU came 5 years after Marvel started building its empire, when Marvel had already reached phase 2 of its franchise. As Zack Snyder's Justice League showed, complete creative freedom for the filmmaker may not be the perfect path, but is certainly a better direction than the corporate meddling WB implemented before the theatrical cut's failure. While he might not have the faith in himself to have steered the MCU to its current heights, maybe Marvel will make a better home for Snyder should he find interest in returning to the world of comic books from which he broke out. I think anyone who brings Snyder onto a big IP is going to regret it. Love the guy as a person, as a creative, but I think he's at the best place for himself and for Netflix, and I think they're going to do beautiful things together, and not just with the zombie Junior. He's planning something else as well, so that's very exciting. So that's that. So here's Dwayne the Rock Johnson, teasing a little bit of his Black Adam costume. Dwayne Johnson teases his Black Adam movie costume in new image. Dwayne Johnson teases fans with a small sneak peek at his Black Adam costume hidden under his black coat of secrecy in a new picture by Rachel Abernathy of Screen Rant. Dwayne Johnson offers tantalizing tease of his Black Adam costume with a new picture on social media. Johnson has been gearing up to play the DC villain turned anti-hero from Black Adam for years now, having the first being blah blah. You see, they just go through the history. Right, boring. Fans got their closest peek yet at Johnson's costume on Thursday, courtesy of the actor's latest social media post. Johnson shared a behind-the-scenes look at one of his meetings for the energy drink Zoar. At first glance, there doesn't seem to be anything Black Adam related in the images. However, as Johnson explained at the end of his caption, he's actually wearing his costume underneath. My black cloak of secrecy, one can zoom in on the second shot and catch just the silver of his gold Black Adam suit. Check it out below. And so, hang on a minute. Should we try and have a look? Let's try and have a look here. Well, you can see it here for yourselves, but I don't think you'll be able to catch anything. I think you'd really have to zoom, and you can't zoom on this I can't hold it up and zoom at the same time. So there's that. So that's what's going on there. Now, my penultimate article of the morning is not DCEU related. It's Emily Blunt. Emily is fucking fed up and pissed off about talking about a potential Fantastic Four casting for her and her husband. And she said so in an interview, and it's all over the internet. I don't know how I feel about this, but let's give this a read. Bobcat, I'm just done with everything, lol. Emily Blunt is tired of being asked Fantastic Four question in interviews. All of the questions about Fantastic Four are starting to wear on Emily Blunt, whose frustrations began to slip out in a recent interview by Rachel Abernathy, again of Screen Rant. Emily Blunt is starting to get frustrated by all the Fantastic Four questions. Marvel's first family, despite being some of the company's biggest characters, have struggled to find their footing on the big screen. Tim Story's 2005 and 2007 offerings didn't totally win over audiences, though they weren't nearly as maligned as a 2015 Fantastic Four reboot, which starred the likes of Miles Teller, Kate Mara, Michael B. Jordan, and Jamie Bell. When Disney purchased Fox, the rights of the Fantastic Four returned to Marvel Studios, much to the relief of fans everywhere. Marvel boss Kevin Feige has since confirmed the Fantastic Four movie is in development for the MCU, with Spider-Man Homecoming director John Watts attached. Despite the announcement of the team joining the MCU coming years ago, no casting decisions have been made, leaving the door wide open for fans to come up with their own ideal picks. Right at the top of the list, real-life couple John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, who fans have pictured as Reed Richards and Sue Storm for years. Krasinski has supported these fan casting, but Blunt is starting to feel differently. Thanks to next week's A Quiet Place Part 2, Blunt has been doing the rounds with the press in recent weeks. This inevitability has led to a lot of questions about whether she could play Sue in Fantastic Four. In a recent interview via Bad Post Blunt, after being asked once again, Blunt appeared to have reached the end of her rope. You're the third person who's come in, Blunt tells the interviewer after he tries to bring it up. You know, I've done the 3 interviews and everyone's asked. So she's not impressed, and she can't stand the Fantastic Four questions anymore. In fact, she said she doesn't like superhero films. So this comes just a week after Blunt fully responded to the Fantastic Four rumors on the Howard Stern show. At the time, Blunt reminded everyone that her attachment to the Marvel project is purely through fan casting and not because of any conversations she's had with Feige. Furthermore, she isn't really interested in a superhero movie at this time. Blunt may have been the top fan pick for a while now, but since she has firmly shut the door on the possibility, it would be best to just let the matter go. It must be frustrating to be constantly asked about a movie she has no ties to, particularly while promoting A Quiet Place 2. There was once a time when Blunt nearly did join the MCU as Black Widow. I think that's left a bad taste in her mouth that she didn't get the gig there, but it simply didn't work out. Now she's involved in several exciting projects, from the aforementioned A Quiet Place 2 to this summer's Jungle Cruise. For many performers, joining the MCU is a dream. It just isn't one for Blunt, and that's okay. Whoever Marvel casts for Fantastic Four will do just as good a job. Here's hoping the studio opts to announce some names soon so Blunt can stop being pestered about it. I'm just done. Right, Bobcat, good for her. If she says no, she says no. Yes, no means no. Listen to me, all right? Listen to me. This person is trying to market a movie that she's done with her husband. They don't want to talk about the movie. They want to talk about the MCU. I'm fed up of hearing about the MCU in unrelated topics. All you have to do is go to a DC Grace Randolph video and she fucking starts, masturbating about Kevin Feige, oh, Kevin Feige, oh, Kevin Feige, Jesus Christ. But yeah, the woman says she's not interested. She doesn't want to do an MCU film at this point. She clearly isn't a big superhero fan, and she's got the pick of what she wants to do. She's been in a film with Tom Cruise before. She's played Mary Poppins with Disney. Clearly, maybe her experience with Disney there wasn't great. So she's not interested, and that's fair enough. You're doing these, let me explain to you, because I've done them here in Cyprus. You do these press calls when you've got something released. When I've got one of my plays done, I do them. And it's interview after interview after interview. And they ask you the same fucking questions every time. And you've got to keep that positive energy, like I have to on these videos. Even if I've had a shit day, if I want a successful YouTube one day, I have to keep my energy up, whether I'm in a good mood or not. And this is what they have to do. And I just think she blew her top there, and rightly so. So there's one more article I want to read. It's about Zack Snyder again. So where are we? Let's have a look. Where is it? Right. So basically, Warner Brothers Pictures do not want to restore the Snyderverse. We know that. We also know that there's the Warner Media company that owns all of them. AT&T have now sold out to Discovery. Warner Media is now a Discovery company, or will be from mid-2022. So will they be interested in restoring the Snyderverse? I doubt it, but there's probably a little bit of new hope. Anyway, this is what he's had to say. So this was done on May the 20th from Den of Geek. And this is by Don K. Zack Snyder on Snyderverse. It's completely mapped out. There is a lot more story left in the Snyderverse beyond Justice League, says Zack Snyder. You see how he's doing it? He's teasing it all the time. Bobcat, if I hear MCU or Snyder one more time, I might lose it, lol. Sorry, mate, I'm doing a Snyder article right now. Sorry. Zack Snyder's Justice League is far from the end of the story, but whether we ever see how that story ends is another matter. As you likely know by now, director Zack Snyder got a chance to finally complete his version of Justice League. Some 4 years after a terrible family tragedy led him to lead the project. The movie was subsequently turned over to Joss Whedon to finish, with a committee of studio execs calling the shots every step of the way and creating a weird Frankenstein's monster of a film that was released in 2017. But Snyder restored his version last year and killed Harley Quinn. Sorry, it doesn't say that on there. I just thought I'd wind you up. Ronnie Dodge, just woken up, mate. What's happened? You're probably going to have to rewatch the whole video. There's been big discussions. For example, Ronnie, it's come out now that Dave Filoni has been the creative director of Lucasfilm since last summer. We discussed that. So that's very interesting after fans calling for him to be running Lucasfilm for a very, very long time. So there's that. We've read several articles. So catch up with the video, mate. I think you'll enjoy it. But Snyder restored his version last year, debuting on HBO Max earlier this spring. And it's led fans to demand that the entire DC film universe be handed back to Snyder so that he could carry on with the now largely abandoned mythology. I'm not reading that word, I can't read it. Known as the Snyderverse after all. Snyder's most passionate advocates point out Warner Brothers is already embracing a multiverse strategy with startlingly different versions of characters existing on screen independent from each other. Bobcat, I just wish people would focus on all the amazing stuff revealed instead of the mediocre, no offense, Spider-Verse. No offense, mate, but as a YouTuber, I have to reference, and as you know, I talk about the future and what's being put out there all the time, but I must talk about this because this is news. I'm a fan of his DC movies as well, so I have to have a balance. I hope you understand. When we sat down this week to discuss Army of the Dead with Snyder this month, the director avoided saying he definitely would like to pick up where he left off, but he acknowledged that he could if he wanted to and if the studio did too. The story is completely mapped out, Snyder says. If you go to Dallas, we had the storyboards up in the AT&T headquarters. These 40-foot dry erase boards that tell the entire story of where the DC universe would go if I was in charge of it. Could someone do me a favor, actually? Because it would be a great discussion on a video. You know that board in the Dallas Museum? I don't want you just to send me a picture of it. I want you to send me a closer. So on my screen, I can see the whole map clearly, so I can plot out on a video what exactly his plan was. Anyone who does that has got my love and respect forever. Bobcat, I've heard Snyder so many times, I might have to take a bit before watching Army of the Dead. Not just you, but everyone. Yeah, I get it. Okay, Bobcat, no problem. I understand your stance and I totally respect it. Snyder is referring to an exhibit set up at AT&T's Discovery District in Dallas, featuring artwork from several of the DC projects that Snyder was involved with, including Justice League and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, as well as proposed conceptual art for the follow-ups to Justice League. The exhibit is no longer active, but it gave fans a glimpse of what the future of the Snyderverse might have held. Snyder adds, I have the entire thing figured out all the way. 2 more movies after Justice League that tell the story of the Darkseid invasion, the post-apocalyptic world, the turning back of all the stuff all the way to Lois's child. So the answer is yes. Justice League 2, or at least 3, would have played out in the nightmare world glimpsed at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, with Batman, Ben Affleck, Mira Amber Heard, Joker, Jared Leto, Flash, Ezra Miller, Cyborg, Ray Fisher, and a motley assortment of surviving heroes and villains teaming up to fight back against Darkseid's invasion of Earth that has transformed Superman Henry Cavill into a force for evil. Manny V, subjective. Ronnie Dodge, I don't really care about the Snyderverse anymore. Manny V, Bobcat, movies are subject. What you think is mediocre, maybe someone else is masterpiece. That's true, but he's only giving his own opinion. So, yeah, I understand both kind of things. He's allowed his opinion. You're allowed his. This is what it's all about. Bobcat, yeah, I get that, Manny V. Just people are sucking all the fun out of the Snyderverse films that are actually decent. Yeah, listen, this is what I said, actually. I'm going to put this article down just for 1 minute. We'll get back to that article because it's an interesting one. I made this analogy on Twitter the other day, and of course I follow many Snyderverse fans, and I said this. If I'd never watched a Snyder DC movie and I was in a whirlwind and I was surrounded by Snyderverse tweets, I probably wouldn't like Zack very much, and I probably wouldn't want to try and give his movies a try, because some people in the Snyderverse fandom are very off-putting and territorial. WD! The Suicide Squad is bad, even though they haven't seen it yet. Oh, Hamada is horrible, a horrible person, even though you've never spoken to him before. So it's very, very difficult, and I understand what Bobcat is saying. Bobcat, it's just my opinion. I don't know if I'll watch a Snyder film for a while. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia, glazes out. I'm chilling out tonight, brother. Awesome. Always great to chill. Warner Brothers, which handed Snyder as reported $70 million to complete his 4-hour cut of Justice League, has indicated quite candidly that the trajectory of the Snyderverse has come to an official end with the Snyder cut of that film. But since DC Entertainment is about to double down on the concept of a multiverse featuring different iterations of its characters in film, TV, and comics, doesn't that create a space for Snyderverse to continue? Is there room for it? I mean, they're doing it, says Snyder. They have exactly 3 iterations. They have Todd Phillips' Joker universe. They have the Batman universe. They have remnants of my universe with Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash. And they're having Ben Affleck cameo as Batman. They have a TV series they're putting together. They have all of the CW stuff. They are literally so deep in the multiverse, they couldn't get out of it if they wanted to. At the moment, it doesn't look like that DC Multiverse has planned for the Snyder Action Section 2 continue for now anyway. So fans will have to continue to brood over what might have been. As for Snyder himself, he seems to have moved on. Army of the Dead premieres on Netflix on the 21st, which is today, and I can't wait to see it. Zack Snyder hasn't moved on. Zack Snyder will never move on. His devout fans will never move on because they want to see the rest of his DCEU plan. And guess who else wants to see that? Me. But I'm also excited about this new central universe they're constructing. Also, the only reason they're doing a multiverse strategy it's a way to delete the Snyderverse from the canon. Now, I'm going to discuss that tonight because I have been talking to a source that's been telling me Andy Machete has been tasked in deleting the Snyderverse in Flashpoint, and I'll be talking about what this source had to say and several other issues and things like that. Hopefully some news drops as well, but I'll be talking about stuff, and what I'll be doing is not waiting for comments. If comments come in, if viewers come in, they come in. If you don't, fuck you. I'm going to be talking about stuff in entertainment. I'm going to do these videos. I will get an audience for my videos if it fucking kills me. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia's glozes. Oh no, I've already read that. Bobcat, I feel like if this goes on any longer, Snyder will be my trigger word. Bobcat, I'm not brooding. I just don't care if they put out any Snyderverse films as of right now. I won't be re-watching them. Bobcat, you know I'll be there. Thank you, Bobcat. As I say, always appreciate your support. So basically, unless you've got anything to ask me or any comments today, that's it for today's Big Mouth Daily. I will be back tonight, no matter who's watching or who's not watching. I'll have things to talk about. So if I were you, I'd be here. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia Glazers out. You're going live stream, Manchester United chat, brother, next time. Well, Kurt, you can talk about Manchester United and I can respond. We can talk about Manchester United. We can talk about DC Entertainment. We can mix it all together. All you have to do is bring up the issues and I'll respond to them, and also bring more Man United fans in so we can talk a bit of Man United as well. But this is a channel for absolutely a myriad of interests: entertainment, DC, MCU, movies of the past. If you want me to review an 80s movie or a 90s movie, let me know. I'll let you know if I know it, or I might go and watch it for you so I can review it. We can talk about different things. Ronnie Dodge, I will be there. I appreciate the support as always, Ronnie. If you see anything, any news that I haven't noticed or shared on my Twitter, please link it to my account as well. Ronnie Dodge, I love that Barbara and Andy was taking pictures of Bruce's chair. It was funny. I tell you what it's meant to be. It's not meant to be funny. I think they're going to release everybody's chair. Batman's they've done, Barry Allen's they've done, and I think we're going to get Supergirls, and I think we're going to get the whole cast of characters. Some that we don't even know are in the movie. And if we get a Superman one, not necessarily Henry Cavill, could be Brandon Routh or Nicolas Cage. Bobcat, I had the Snyder Cut and News BVS 4K in my car. I took them out. Wow! Sam Dejan reviews. Mickey Sutton said Henry Cavill appearing Wonder Woman 3. Right, Sam Dejan reviews. Can you ask your mate, Mr. Sutton, what happened? Oh, I see. That's his news. That's what he said. Look, Mickey Sutton, I can't remember the last time Mickey or Mikey Sutton was right, Sam. So I would love him to be in Wonder Woman 3, but unless he's announced, I'm not interested. I actually think that Henry may be potentially cameoing in every DCEU film thus far, going forward now. But until that happens, I'm not going to believe this. But it's an exciting rumour or lie, Sam. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia Glazers out. What do you think, Manchester United favourites to sign Harry Kane, brother? I don't think we're favourites. No, not with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as our manager. I think if I was a player at my peak, I'd want to play for the very best, and that's not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's Pep Guardiola, potentially the European champion for this season, treble winner maybe. I would, if Manchester City wanted me, I wouldn't be choosing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Manchester United. Now I'm a Man United fan. Now I like Harry Kane, but I prefer Haaland anyway. Sam Dejan reviews. Wonder Woman 3 will be called Wonder Woman Trinity. Is that what he's saying? Interesting. Well, we're going to discuss that tonight, right? Is that what he's saying then, Sam? Wonder Woman 3 will be called Wonder Woman Trinity with Batman, Wonder Woman. Well, that would be awesome. If that's the case, that means that Patty Jenkins is no longer involved in that movie. So watch this space. Look, it's exciting stuff, rumours or lies, but I can't take it as fact. But that would be awesome. Ronnie Dodge, I'm excited for The Flash, aren't we all? Sam Dejan reviews. Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill. We can only cross our fingers, but I don't think so. Bobcat, interesting. It's interesting, isn't it, Bobcat? But Mikey Sutton, Mikey Sutton's worse than a clock. A clock on your wall is at least right twice a day. I can't remember the last time Mikey Sutton got anything right, or Mickey Sutton, or whatever. Let me know the last time he got something right. Bobcat, well, I know one thing. If Snyder does it, I won't be watching. Oh, you will. You're just a little bit sour right now, Bobcat. Ronnie Dodge, I don't think it's true, knowing Mikey. No. Tell me, Ronnie, tell me someone, when was the last time? In fact, I get more things right than him, and I've barely got, I've barely got followers. I've barely got, a platform, and I know more things than he does. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia Glazers out. I don't know why Manchester United did sign Harry Kane, 40 million, brother. Kick Glazers out. Now. Well, it's not going to be 40 million, mate. They're talking about over 100 million to get Harry Kane, and I don't think he's worth it anyway. So that's my opinion on that one. And I'm not desperate for Harry Kane. I want Haaland, and I don't think it's possible to get Haaland this year. And would Haaland come to United? While we've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, listen, Sam Dejan reviews, I just want Henry Cavill in movies. It will be interesting if he's in Wonder Woman 3. If it's true, Sam. Bobcat, I mean, if this Snyder stuff stops, maybe, but I'm not watching Army of the Dead today. I just don't care anymore. This message is held for review from Ronnie Dodge. You naughty boy, Ronnie. He's like the light cast, makeup BS, yeah. I agree. It's BS. It's BS. Sorry, he doesn't get anything right. I'm sure he's a lovely lad. He's welcome to come on the channel and come on the chat like you guys do. We can have a discussion. I don't have anything against him. I just haven't heard him come up with anything that actually happened. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia Glazers out. Me too, brother. So, yeah, I was going to say something about Man United, and I read someone's comments, and I totally forgot. But, yeah, this is what I've always said about Man United. Chelsea, City, and Liverpool got elite managers. We've got Ole. What player is going to choose Ole over those elite managers? That's the truth. Sam Dejan reviews. He could be in Flash, Shazam 2, Black Adam, as they are all filming now. Yes, he could cameo in all those films. And I kind of have a feeling that could be the case. All we can do is cross our fingers. Sam Dejan reviews. Aquaman 2 is filming in July. Superman. Let's hope so. Superman and Batman were supposed to be in Snyder's version of the first Aquaman movie. So, Bobcat, well, I'm going to head to bed, Mickey. See you all on the next stream. Good night. Sweet dreams, Bobcat. Make sure the bugs don't bite. That's how it goes, isn't it? So thank you for joining. It's, in such an unsociable hour for you, Bobcat. Always appreciate your sacrifices for the channel. Sam Dejan reviews. Henry Cavill isn't shooting anything now. That's true. Bobcat, Aquaman 2, Revenge of the Air Bubbles. He's still going on about that. Good night, Bobcat. And I think that's the end of today's Big Mouth Daily, unless anyone's got anything to say. Ronnie Dodge, I don't want Zach doing Wonder Woman 3. I would love another female director to have a chance. Listen, I don't care. Man, woman, gender neutral. I couldn't give a fuck. Just someone who understands this character and wants to do right by this character. Patty Jenkins didn't do right by this character in her second movie, and it's as simple as that. So I don't care who does it. Doesn't have to be a female. They probably want a female because this is where we are now, and they can bring a female. There's plenty of talented female directors, but this film must be done justice. Ronnie Dodge. Oh no, we've already read that one anyway. So that's where I am with Wonder Woman and Patty Jenkins. If you're rewatching this video, comment down below, like, share, and subscribe. Come and follow me on Twitter and let everyone know about me. Of course, please. Let's get some subscribers. Let's get some viewers. And I will be back tonight, 6 p.m. UK time for Big Mouth Live, where I will be discussing about different topics, different issues. If you've got something to say, say it. But I won't be sitting here in silence waiting for viewers and comments. We're not going to do that anymore. But you're welcome to join the chat. And whatever you put down there, if it's good and it's okay and it's not rude or racist or anything like that, I will read it out. Ronnie Dodge, what will you do if Patty does come back? Well, I'm going to come on this channel and spew about it because I don't think after she did what she did with the first film. Now, if you just cut the middle out and you do the start and the ending, she made a great movie. But unfortunately, the middle bit is problematic. The old men staring at the aerobics women bend over that's just bad. Lil Noon, UXC. Well, I don't want to assume that you mean I'm sexy. So I'm going to say thank you very much anyway, Lil. Welcome to the chat, but I'm going now. I'm going now. I've got to keep sexy. I've got to go to the gym. I've got to pump some iron. I've got to do some writing and things like that. So comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tonight from 6 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. Cyprus time for Big Mouth Live. Until then, goodbye. I am sexy though. Look at that. Look at that. Look at those guns. Look at those guns though. Come on. What woman wouldn't want a piece of this? Anyway, I'll see you tonight. Until then, goodbye.